let's do this. I soon found Machiko and Miko talking near the staircase leading back into the forest. The two girls looked like they were playing a game similar to hopscotch on the white shrine step. Now it was time for me to figure out how to convince the girls. Yay, Knuckles! I just started because he took so long. Okay, Machiko is that girl. Ah, Taka-kun, is everything well? You look concerned. Tsuyuri told me some interesting stuff. Oh, what is it? Did she tell you? Machiko's bust size? Mako! Owie! Haha, no, nothing like that. And even if she offered to, I would have declined. I'm a gentleman. She told me about the recent event, and I think I found a way to get you both accepted by the village. Wait, Tsuyuri-sama told you? What did she tell you? She's not told us anything. She didn't go into too many details. She just told me that there are feral spirits that are doing their spirity thing, which the people of the village think that they are under attack. If we can convince the villagers that the other spirits are just playing, maybe we can figure out a way to protect them. And if you help doing so, maybe they'll warm up to you. Yay! That'll work for sure! Tsuchan and Takani are so smart! Whoa, wait! Mako, calm down. Taka-kun, there's no way the village will change that easily. Even if we convince the elder, the two guards will never forgive us for our theft. I firmly believe in the thought that I'd rather try something and fail than to regret having not tried. Of course, the two guards will be upset, but perhaps after our heroic efforts to save the village, they might be more willing to listen to our story. Hold on, let me check something. Okay. Try something and fail, then regret having not tried? But won't you be sad if you fail despite having tried so hard? Well, that is if I fail. Nothing is set in stone, so it never hurts to try. Knuckles. While I was rather certain of this idea, I knew I had to convince the girl that this plan would work. Of course, with the amount of confidence in my tone carried, it was only a matter of time before Machiko started to consider it. I'm not so sure, Taka-kun. Do you really want to face the wrath of Miyu head on? If for the sake of my friends, then yes. And perhaps if we're lucky, she finally shows that their side of her. I'm for it. I want to play with the people in the town. I want to be able to eat delicious smelling food. I want to learn about them. It's hard to do my high voices for me. Oh, thank you, Panda. I don't think it's that good. I'm still practicing. What about you, Machiko-chan? Don't you want to be able to wander around without the constant thought of being haunted and chased by the village? This could be the only chance we'll get. I suppose with the both of you being enthusiastic, I do not have much of a choice in the matter. It would be rather nice to be able to trade for some sake from the human world. Spirit sake is quite bland. That's the spirit. We should hurry towards the village then. Very well, Taka-kun. And meanwhile, within the village. Two guards who had just returned from the patrol have found their village in an uproar. Chaos reigned supreme as villagers fled, screaming about some monster that had arrived at the market plaza. Obviously, the two of them, armed with their weapons, rushed in to deal with the threat. I don't know, I have to do her voice now. Another attack already? First those crafty kitsune crooks sneak in twice, and now this? Hikage, report! What is it this time? Several shop owners all report seeing as the same girl enter their shops, take food, and eat it without paying, and it seems to turn see-through and then melt away. She was reported nearby, but oh, okay, she's like a Frady type. One girl causing so much havoc in my town? Useless guardsman. Hikage, come with me. We will deal with this one girl ourselves. I don't know if I can. What do you... oh, a spirit. Right, Narumi. I need you to ensure that no one gets near. I'm trusting you with this. To the relief of Narumi, the katana-wielding girl stepped forward into the shop, which a crowd of people gathered around it. Devious monster, show yourself to me this instant! Surrender yourself and I might let you go free. However, the moment she tried to enter the building, a large pink mass surged outwards, knocking her back into the grass. Mew! A Mew's shadow steered from under a nearby building, and upon closer inspection, a girl seemed to be occupied, drowning several bottles of sake before she dropped them and then turned to look at the source that startled her. When she moved into the light, it became revealed she was in fact not a villager, but a slime girl. A slime girl? What is that? A slime girl. That tasty drink got spilled because you shouted. I'm a sad girl. What the? You're not welcome here, spirit. You have caused chaos, and that tasty drink, as you say, is not yours. You are a thief and an interloper. Leave immediately. I'm not a thief! Besides, what's an interloper? You're trying to act like a smarty pants just because I don't know those fancy words. Typical. It means you do not belong here. This is not your place. Liar! The forest is my home, and this place is part of the forest, and therefore I am not a thief for everything in the forest that belongs to me and my sisters, including you. Can't believe they put a slime. Bunny ears? What do you mean? Don't try anything funny, spirit. I have fought against your kind before, and I still stand strong here today. Hikage, evacuate the citizens! Seems a human girl wants to play. Do not belittle my defense of this village. Ha! The woman lodged forward with her katana drawn and slashed through the spirit's body. However, the slice that pierced sealed up almost as quickly, rendering the attack completely ineffective. That tickles! With the sword stuck inside the slime girl's body, the spirit quickly lashed forward, spraying several jets of slimy substance against Miu, who soon found that the slime that came into contact with her clothes started to melt it. Uh-oh. Let's see, next scene. Let's see how confident you are without your sword. And clothes! Humming the last part with a childish playfulness, the slime girl pushed the sword woman down onto the grass. The slime that had been splattered on her starting to harden and stick her against the ground. Oh my god. Oh, what the? Let me go! Cheater! Devious fiend! Oh my god, I can't scream though. You're the silly one who tried to use a sword against me. Don't you know a girl like me can easily bounce off such things? Besides, this way I might be able to continue eating in peace. Now be a good girl and be stuck there while I grab more yummies. Never! I will not rest until you are vanquished! Ah! Damn you! It's useless. Once my slime hardens a human, like you won't be able to just break out of it. Especially one who is powerless without a sharp stick. God. I assure you, I am more than just a monkey with a sharp stick. You will never break my stamina. You will not make me silent. Ah! I'm sorry, oh my god. I can't yell. Alright. Miyu strained at the sticky solid mass, clenching her fist as best as she could try and get herself free. The slime cracked here and there, but nothing that would indicate that it was ready to yield. Yes, you're stuck, monkey, but you're kind of loud. Give me a headache. Oh my god. Playfully tapping her forehead, the slime girl giggled at Mio's desperate attempts to break free. I like the music, by the way, just to point it out. Just answer me this. Why are you spirits targeting us? You could go anywhere, you could spend your days hidden deep within your forest, and yet you constantly attack us. Constantly throw our lives around like they were nothing. But the forest is boring. There isn't anyone around to play with aside from my sisters, and you humans are such a curious bunch. Oh, but it's no fun that you all raise your swords, torches, and pitchforks anytime we visit. It is even less fun having to rebuild our home every time you visit. It is less fun having our lives ruined every time you're bored and wish to play. We are not toys, you monster. We are humans, proud, wise, strong beings with souls and minds. We will not stand idly by, I feel like I'm doing a speech, as you terrorize us forever. I don't know about the proud and strong part, because you do realize that if it wasn't for my slime, you'd be giving the villagers a show they wouldn't soon forget. That's not, you're the one who, my clothes are, that's not important right now. If it wasn't for your guru, I would still have my clothes on. Fiend, monster, bratty little thing. Oh, you'd rather have removed my slime? But then again, you're kind of annoying me with your nagging. Maybe I need to punish you a little. Oh, thank you, Panda. The slime girl smiled mischievously at Miyu, causing the slime that covered the girl to push more strongly against her body, almost painfully so. Ah! This is nothing compared to what this village had to endure. I only came by to get some yummies. You're the ones who made the show out of it. You took from many shops without paying for it. Ah! Actually, maybe I should wrap you in a cocoon and drag you back to my home. Then I won't have to visit the village to play with someone anymore. If that is what it would take, I would do anything to protect this village and the people inside it. If you can promise me that you will not return to the village, then you aren't exactly in the right position to make demands. Stop! You can't go in there! There they are! Miku-chan, go! Use your magic! Right! Oh my god. This is kind of weird to keep switching voices. The sound of rushed footsteps came from a crowd outside when suddenly the slime girl felt her body growing warmer than normally. Small flame sparks seemingly resonating around her body, causing her body to slowly melt. At the same time, from the midst of the crowd, three figures appeared to obstruct the slime girl from her prey. Two kitsune, one of them apparently muttering an incantation of sorts, while the other was holding some sort of ritualistic staff. Trailing behind him slightly was the Naginata wielding guard, who was being accompanied by a guy. Please, Narumi-san, we are trying to help. I don't want to have to stop you. If you think you can save Miyu, then okay, just know that if any funny business goes down, I will chop your head clean off. Right, I hope the girls know what they're doing. Sakura, what are you doing here? You kitsune! While the slime girl was being distracted by the kitsune, I ran over to Miu's side, using all the strength of my arm to tag the slime that covered her. However, the only thing I seemed to do was tear lightly at it. It would take a bit before I could free her. They are here to help, so use your energy for something useful, like tearing this damn slime rather than yelling at the top of your lungs. Ah, Machiko, have you come to play with them also? Please, tell your sister to stop her spell. It is rather tingly. Meiko, keep up the good work. No, Sakura, I have not come to play. You are a fool, a bubble-brained moron. Why are you arresting the villagers? If you wanted food, you know you should come to the mansion. Wait, who's Sakura? Oh, okay, she's Sakura then. Meanie, Machiko, you can tell me what to do. Not to mention the food from the village is tastier than the food at your place. Besides, I just wanted to play with them after I had some yummies. But then they started screaming and this monkey girl with her sharp stick tried to scare me away. I will not stand for these insults. Just you wait until I am free. Oni-sama, the spell is almost done. If I keep going on, it might... Just a little more, Chibiko. Sakura, I do not wish this to happen. You know what will occur if Miko's spell is allowed to continue to work? You might get stuck in your... What? You might get stuck in your midget form for a long time, and I'm certain you do not want that. Leave this village, please. You're gonna melt me? That's unfair. My sisters won't be happy to hear Machiko and Meiko sided with the silly humans against me, when all I was doing was playing with them. I'll be back. I'll be back. Right. And with those words, the slime girl seemingly started to melt into a pool of water. That moved out of the shop and soon disappeared from sight. After the slime girl had disappeared from the village, I succeeded in tearing off the slime that covered Miu. However, with the slime seemingly shattering into tiny pieces, Miu was found to have lost any form of cover, causing me to quickly raise a hand to cover my eyes. Don't you dare look at me! In a hurry, that girl rushed away, most likely to find a change of clothes. With the slime girl gone, to the villagers turned towards the kitsune with confused gazes. The tension in the air was thick, so thick it was almost moldable, as they seemed uncertain what to expect, when finally a familiar figure emerged from within the crowd. It's a pleasure to see you again, Takahiro-kun, even if the circumstances surrounding this meeting are rather odd. What are you saying, Elder? That man is clearly in cahoots with the spirits. Wait a minute. Wait a moment. Those girls just wanted to help. Oni-sama, my head hurts. It's okay, sweetie. I'm here. Just hold tightly onto me. I'll protect you, and so will Takani. It's a trap! Silence! How dare you act with such hostility towards those that just saved your homes? The crowd seemed rather startled by the firmness in the old man's voice, but soon obeyed, some of them feeling rather ashamed all of a sudden. This is clear you and your companions have not come to here with ill intentions, Takahiro-kun, but you must forgive the village of its nervousness and hostility. As you have most likely noticed already, contact between the spirits and humans has been rather problematic at best. I can understand their concern, but will you at least hear me out? Very well. If that is what you desire, then it will be at least we can do for those who have helped to save this village upon this day. However, let us wait for the chief of the guard to return. I believe it will be important for her to hear what you have to say. I'll go find her, Oji-san. Feeling grateful that the elder had granted me the chance to carry out my plan, we waited for Miu to return. Thankfully, the elder brought us somewhere private where Machiko could tend to Michael without the crowd villagers looking in contempt. I do. Master Splinter. I don't know, I guess when I'm thinking of an old man, I just kind of like try to make it sound like, I don't know. Narumi? I forgot who she was. How many times am I going to stop just saying, I am sorry! I froze, okay? I panicked. Your sword technique is stronger than my Naginata. What was I even going to achieve? That is unacceptable. I will reprimand. What are those creatures doing here? Hayate-sama, this is highly irregular. She's highly irregular. Shh, Miko-chan. They are guests, Tsukino Dono. You should treat them with respect they deserve. Now take a seat and listen to their tale. That's an order. Yes, Hayate-sama. First and foremost, let me express my gratitude for helping save this village. While Tsukino Dono's brave attempt to stop the spirit allowed us to prevent the damage from expanding, I tried to think of the fate that would have awaited her, should the spirits have been allowed to have her way with one of our villagers. Therefore, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saving Tsukino Dono, and the village Takahiro-kun and Kitsune-san. Hi, Juz. No problem. Sucho told us to do it, and besides, Sakura's stupid smelly mini pants. Your gratitude is accepted humbly, elder son. Narumi-chan, Tsukino Dono. Thank you, Michael-san. Machiko-san, you really helped us out in the pitch there. You've got more guns than me. The girl that had me terrified. Have you not considered they are still working with that monster? And this is all just a rouse to sneak into the village and steal what little resources we have left? Thank you, Panda. Well, yeah, that's the demon character, I think. The man sighed for a moment before his gaze sharpened at me, his tone surprisingly stern compared to how he had been talking. So harsh was his voice that the warrior woman visibly flinched. Miu, you seem to be underestimating the power of the spirits. If those three had joined forces with the spirits, there would have possibly been no village left to defend. The man sighed deeply and shook his head while he explained further. Be grateful. Not all spirits are against us. If this was the case, we would have no chance. Do I need to remind you? We can barely stand our ground against them. When on their own, should they collaborate, all would be lost. Hayate-san, you must understand my situation. I cannot simply pretend like I am friends with the spirit. Not after everything that has been done to us. But, for now, I will at least remain silent on the matter. There is more at stake here than my personal feud. Know this, Kitsune. If I find either of you doing anything untoward, I will personally test whether my sword goes through you just as ineffectively as it went through the monster. There shall be no such deed within this house. Now, Takahiro-kun, you mentioned you want us to tell us something. Could it be related to the younger one of your companions' comment? I find it curious to hear her mention the name of an elder spirit like Tsuyuri. Yes, in fact, what I'm about to tell is something I learned directly from her. You mean you met her in person? I nodded my head firmly while I started speaking. There is a reason behind the fact that the spirits have such a peculiar behavior towards humans. Doesn't it strike you as odd that there are only spirits in this particular area? It is true that there has been no spirit sightings to be found outside this region, but what does this have to do with us? It has something to do with this region rather than the people living inside it. You see, the spirits that have been troubling you, they aren't of this world. You mean to say... Taka-kun, what are you saying? We are spirits, but surely we are still of this world. Oni-sama, what does that mean? Tsuyuri told me you two will likely not remember it because you were akin to human children at that time. However, it's fact that the spirits have a world of their own, and an accident has caused both worlds to merge temporarily with each other. It is the same reason why Tsuyuri is the only elder spirit among you. Then, wouldn't it make more sense if there was actually more spirits around? Not exactly. The rift between both worlds was sealed quickly, but not before a few spirits were trapped here. Machiko-chan, Maiko-chan, and the four spirits were those that were unfortunate enough to be separated from their kin. However, I believe Tsuyuri willingly crossed into this realm to watch over them. Machiko-chan, Maiko-chan, you two remembered being raised by Tsuyuri for a while, right? That's private. Jushan took care of us for a little bit, but then one day she took us to the mansion and sort of just left us. Now we can only visit her when she wants us to. And what about the four spirits? Despite being a powerful spirit, Tsuyuri has to act according to certain limitations. As a result, she was unable to reach the four other spirits and was forced to leave Machiko-chan and Maiko-chan behind once they were old enough to fend for themselves. I do not know what to say. I need a minute. Might I use another room to compose myself? I'll show you. I can take you somewhere, and I'll look over you to make sure you don't do anything fiendish and all that. Come on, Chiya, Machiko-san, this way. When Machiko and Naomi left the room, I sighed softly and turned my focus back onto the conversation. Now, about the, panty theft. Oh, right. The Kitsune seemed rather adamant about obtaining the underwear of our guards at all costs. What purpose does that hold? Surely those girls have undergarments of their own. It was a simple mistake. The spell said it needed made in silk. How was I supposed to know that means something other than silky things that girls wear? It was an innocent mistake, of course. A Kitsune wouldn't know that made in silk is another term us humans use for a wedding sash. Innocent, my Vera. If they really thought that, they could have just used their own. Yeah, that's where you're wrong. Unisama and me don't have any. You two. I think we should quickly change the subject. Yes, we should. So, going on, Tsuyuri suggested that we find a way to help the village. It might go some way to mend the problems with the spirits. It might grant them enough favor within the village for the sash. But for what purpose would they have needed such an item? Boo! Silly man! I already said I needed it for a spell. Miko-chan, the villager, isn't a magician, so you can't expect him to understand your intention. Basically, Miko-chan has been studying a spell that would allow her to travel to another realm. Why would you desire such a power? Imagine for a moment, elder son, you're far away from this village, stuck without a way to return to your beloved ones. To make matters worse, you're in a place foreign to you with beings that are unlike any you have known your entire life. Now, if you had a power that would allow you to go anywhere, where would you go? You're saying that? Yes, while they weren't aware of it, they must have subconsciously felt they were different from you all. They were far, wasn't theirs, and the only thing they desired to go home. Home.
Kinda. I guess I just want to cast a spell to see what it did. Tushan told me if I ever felt like that, I should ask her first, but then go with it. So I did, and she didn't warn me about anything, so I just thought it was like any other spell.
And yet, you seem persistent in completing it, even if it means getting into troubles with the guard. I think it's not a natural thing, Miko-chan. Whether it's humans or spirits, everyone desires a place they call their own. To be able to be accepted for who they are. Isn't that right, elder son? What, for one, the girls just to see you laugh? What?
But I'm expected for who I am here. But I'm accepted for who I am here whenever I am with you, Takani.
Fine, you want me to do it? Maybe I should make her the manly voice. Because she's like the tough one.
I'd certainly feel sad if everyone ended up rejecting me just because of who I am. Surely not all spirits are good beings, but perhaps we have been too quick at judging them all for evil beings.
For a moment I saw the elder's eyes wandering sideways to the room. Narumi and Machikad entered and his gaze softened.
Unfortunately, some of us have suffered quite harshly by the events that unfolded with the spirits, so it will take time for people to come to terms with those feelings, Sakahiro-kun.
Meanwhile, in a room off to the side of the main room, the guard lieutenant was watching over the older Kitsune, as she seemed to be in the grips of minor panic attack.
No, this can't be right. This can't be true. I'm from this world. This world! I belong here, don't I? Maybe you should sit down or like lay back or something. I can get you some pillows if you want, or...
No! You could not possibly understand. You cannot know what it's like to have everything you know your whole life just pulled out from under you completely. Oh, okay. Maybe a random character.
Actually, I do. What do you mean? It was a while ago now. I was still just a kid, maybe 5 years old. There was an incident with those other spirits. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was a big fire and my parents got trapped in our house. They never made it out. So yeah, don't tell me I'm not all that because I know what it's like to have your whole world shaken.
Hold on, I need to turn on the light. Maybe for a new character. Or the bitchy girl. I don't know. I think the bitchy girl will be funny. Really? Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Jota.
I'm sorry. I did not know. I could have known. I could have not known.
Sorry. I need to fix that.
That's almost worse. You should know. You should know exactly what it did to me. How it made me feel. I'm sorry. I do not know what you're talking of. Narumi, was it?
Naruto.
What? That's what they used to call me. Chi-chan. You used to call me Naruto. We used to play together almost every day. That's how you should know. I was with you when that incident happened, and you didn't even remember.
The kitten collapsed to one knee, clutching at her temple.
I remember the village glowing orange. A girl younger than me, resembling you. Why couldn't I remember before? Ah! Machiko? My head hurts. I remember you were crying. You screamed for your parents and then you were calling out my name as I ran. I had to. The villagers, they wanted to catch spirits. All spirits. They didn't care what we have been playing by the river all day. I couldn't explain to them. I had to run. I can't believe it. Naruto, I'm so sorry. The Kitsu reached forwards to touch the guard, who pulled backwards instinctively. As she did, the pain seemed to dispel from the Kitsune, who looked more relieved than confused about the whole ordeal. No, not yet. I can't just whip that all away. It aren't so easy. But you did stand up to the slime creature. The one you called Sakura. You risked yourself for Miyu and for the village, and that's worth me at least giving you a chance. I aren't promising miracles, cause she barely listens even to me, but I'll try to talk her down. She aren't the cold, heartless captain everyone thinks she is. I don't get the grammar, it's really bad. Thank you for giving us a chance, Naruto. I promise Miko and I will do our best. Perhaps you could tell me more about the incident. If I try to remember more, the pain might return. I'd rather not, really. It aren't a happy story, but if you can do me a favor, I might be willing to tell you. I want to get stronger. I couldn't do anything earlier today. I couldn't protect anyone. I aren't got the brains for magic or anything like that. But that Takahiro had some pretty flashy moves before. Get him to teach me some and I'll tell you more. Deal, Chi-chan? I'm not too sure. This seems like something of a weighted deal on your end. Perhaps you can sweeten it for me just a little. Always a charmer. Alright, how about this? I'll tell you something about when we were younger. When we used to play together in the woods near the village. There's a little stream there that we used to fish in. Sometimes you used to sneak in with me. And we played pranks in the shops, moving stuff around, knocking on doors and running away. Silly kid stuff. Sometimes you even showed me your magic, your illusion abilities, but you said you didn't like doing it all that much because it made Miku cry. That's right. When Miku saw me transform for the first time, she got scared. She ran away from me and nearly hurt herself. How could I have possibly forgotten that? Naruto, thank you for telling me that. I swear I will get Takukan to aid you. Thank you. The woman stepped forwards again, this time wrapping her arms around the surprised guard, who did not pull back. The two women embraced lightly, the kitsune shaking lightly as she did so. Hey, come on now. We should probably be getting back. The others likely would be wondering where we would have gone. Forgive my time away. I must admit, I was not expecting such revelations. Takakun, have you explained the situation? I believe they understand it all now. Albeit it might take a bit of time before the village comes to terms with it. I do believe it would be in best interest to see for ourselves the true nature of the Kitsu. While I can't promise friendship will be forged today, let it be known that from now on the Kitsune are welcome in our village, and will be tolerated like any guest would. Thank you, elder son. My sister and I are very grateful for your hospitality. However, just like our village, the laws of our kin shall apply to you three also. Takahiro-kun, I believe it will be your best interest to learn more about the village. Tsuki no Dono, Narumi-chan, I'll leave him in your care. And that doesn't mean stuff him in a cell in the prison. You got it, Oji-san. We'll do our best. What about Maiku-chan and Machiko-san? I'd like them to stay here for a moment. I need to discuss something with the two girls about how we deal with the other spirits should they return. Hayate-sana, I would like to remain with you for that conversation. It is my duty to protect the town, and those within it, from any perceived danger. That includes you. I also believe an information will be useful for me to hear first-hand. Of course, I expected nothing less from you. Tsuki no Dono, Narumi-chan, how about you take a walk with Takahiro-kun? And don't consider to stay a young man. You're going to need a bit more heroic next time you help the village to get the right to date my granddaughter.
The man laughed heartily while I blushed. A weak smile upon my lips when I was seemingly expected to be taken out for a walk with Narumi. Well, at least this time I wouldn't get cuffed and taken to jail, so perhaps it could end up being a pleasant walk. Of course, it was not to be. Even the elements seemed against the village today, because barely a minute into the walk, the heavens themselves opened, and we were soaked through. Letting out a yelp, Narumi grabbed me by the hand and pulled me towards the nearest awning to shelter from the rain.
Oh, ew, ew, ew! A rainfall in this suddenly? This is just typical. Today's just going from bad to worse.
I didn't think the rain would be able to douse your warrior spirit.
Warrior spirit. Yeah, I really had that by a bucketful today, didn't I?
You're sounding different from last time we met. I could have sworn you would have shouted, "Ha! If you want to stop the great Narumi, you better up your ante, Mother Nature. Send me a tsunami, an earthquake, or a tornado, and you might stand a chance."
Yeah, well, that was before. I realized that what a weak, cowardly person I was. Mother Nature doesn't need all that to stop me. I'm not great. I'm just a girl who's trying to impress someone they never can. All it takes to stop me is some drizzle.
For a moment I frowned, trying to think of how to respond to the girl. It appeared her inability to stop the slime girl from causing havoc and embarrassing her chief had led Narumi to feel she had failed somehow. It was at that point I recalled a certain scenario and decided to act. Rather swiftly, I grabbed a hold of Narumi's shoulder while my other arm wrapped around her arm, almost looking as if I was about to comfort her. But it was then I decided to use judo technique, and almost as if I was the hero from some manga, about to use a secret technique, I shouted proudly.
What? Hey, stop! Tsurikimagoshi!
Using the strength I had trained from years of judo practice, I easily spun the girl over my shoulder and onto her back, in the rainy grass before us. My eyes gazed down sharply at her while I repeated the words I recalled from a certain manga. "If you let one loss break your spirit, then you're unsuitable for being a warrior. It's because there are stronger people around that you get the motivation to improve."
That doesn't prove anything. You took me by surprise. You look like you're gonna kiss me, and then you toss me on my back.
I didn't plan to kiss you, and now you made me forget my heroic speech.
Get up and grab your weapon, Narumi. If words don't cheer you up, then let's talk like warriors do, through battle.
Wait here. The woman pushed herself upwards and barged past me, stumping into the building, which I only now recognized was the guards' building I had been held in the day previously. I waited under the wooden slates as the rain thudded down onto it, causing it to run down in heavy drips. A few moments later, I heard a loud thudding, and through the doors, Narumi burst. Oh my god. In her hand, she held a Naginata, similar to the one she normally used, but with a different head. In the moment I got to glance at it before her attack landed, I could see that it was not nearly as sharp as a blade should be.
Hiya!
It took all my speed to be able to raise my arms and grab a hold of the shaft of the weapon before the attack crushed onto my body, making me quickly push her weapon sideways while I darted forward. Pushing my hand against her chest with all my force behind it, I attempted to open her posture for a vulnerability for me to expose. That's it! You're not some sort of weak-willed girl who isn't going to lose her fighting spirit that easily. Oh, sorry. My bad. Shut up! You don't even know what's bothering me! I want to beat the snot out of you, and that'll make me feel better! Narumi-chan, didn't you forget one of the most important things about a fight? The woman gritted her teeth and lunged towards me again. A wild, angry strike that would have been ridiculously easy to dodge, were she not so fast. As it happened, I was just faster than her, but the whoosh of air that shot past me made it clear. She was not pulling her punches. I don't care. It aren't important, I couldn't do it. I got scared and I let everyone down. And that's why you failed as a warrior. I can read every emotion behind your attacks. You're angry at yourself for being unable to stop that spirit, right? Disappointed at yourself for lacking the courage to face them alone. Well, Narumi-chan, you're not some lone hero who has to do everything. I quickly pushed her Naginata upwards, a quick slide of my body nearly knocking the weapon out of her hands, while I raised a hand to flick her forehead before stepping backwards. Did anyone tell you that you had to beat the spirit? Or rather, why didn't you stop to figure out for a moment that you got friends and companions to deal with, an enemy like that alongside you? A hero who fights alone is a hero who dies early. It's why both you and Tsundere Tyrant won't be able to defeat that spirit when you try to beat them by yourself. How? How am I supposed to stand by her side when she's so much better than I can ever hope to be? How can I stand against the spirit when all I am is a human with a sharp stick? Mio lost her sword, but she never lost her reserve, but I lost mine as soon as the things became dangerous. I'm worthless. The woman snarled as her forward was flicked, and then she lunged forwards again, lashing out with her spare hand aiming for my temple. I ducked and slid back, narrowly dodging the swing of her Naginata. I noticed that she had switched her stance a little, and was choosing closer range attacking style. The only limits we have are those we impose upon ourselves. If she's better than just keeping practicing to improve. Even I got people I want to overcome. That's what the wonderful thing with martial arts. Why haven't you tried talking to her like this? Because I can't. I can't talk to her. I need to just be strong. She does it without relying on anyone, without bending or yielding. I can't do it. I can't be like her. Is that really the case? Perhaps you really don't know what the source of her strength is, but in your case it's just a matter of finding your resolve. Well, there's the problem. I don't have any. I'm just a dumb little girl who needs to be saved all the time. Come on, stop talking like that. Don't you have something you want to protect at all costs? There's nothing at all. Not your family, your friends, your village. You just turn out for the paycheck? Thank you very much. You're right. There is nothing. I lost it all already. The woman's next attack caught me by surprise. She flung her weapon towards me at full strength, hitting me in the arm, which made me flinch and turned away from me, slipping on the wet grass beneath. She scrambled to her feet before I could react and began running towards the forest. I chased the woman as fast as I could, barely keeping up with her as she picked her way through the trees until she slowed down, coming to a stop on the edge of a small clearing. You're certainly a warrior of speed. Why did you come all the way out here? Why did you follow me out here, damn it? I didn't ask you to come. I didn't want anyone else coming here. Leave! I'm not going to do that, Naomi-chan. A hero never abandons someone in need. And a master never lets his people down. What are you talking about? It's not so important. Won't you at least tell me what has gotten you this worked up? I know you panicked back when the wild spirit attacked, but that is an acceptable reaction to a situation. You don't know anything about it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. No answer came from the woman, who was looking more intently at the little glade than me. Rolling my eyes, I turned to leave, but stopped when I noticed two small wooden grave markers, time-marked but well-maintained, sitting under the shade of a tree. Narumi. My parents lost their lives during a spirit attack. I was lucky enough not to see it happen firsthand, but I'm still alone. I lost my best friend then too. When I saw Miyu trapped, I got so scared that I was going to lose her too. I just kind of shut down. My mind blanked. Takahiro, I envy you so much. You're trapped in another world. You might never see your family and friends again. But here you are, still so positive, so eager. And you're trying to help everyone. How do you do that? How do you do it? I do worry about whether I'll be able to return to my world or not, but I realize that just sitting here and sulking around will get me nowhere. I'd rather spend my time helping everyone. And yet, I don't think you lost everything that day. I mean, Miyu-san is still here, so perhaps she can become the reason for you to seek power. And what about the elder and the other villagers? Aren't they trusting you enough for a reason to fight? It's just so hard. I'm so weak. I can't fight, but you can. Can you help me? I need to get better. Your skills are incredible. If I can get stronger, then maybe I can finally be worthy to finally protect those I care about. Miyu-san, Chi-chan, the village. Well, I'm going to be stuck here for a while anyway, so I don't mind lending my aid if it makes you become stronger. Then again, if you had controlled your emotion during our last fight, I would have been counting stars in the dirt. But who is this Chi-chan? That would be an embarrassing name for a village elder. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. Can I trust you, Takahiro-kun? Of course, my lips are zipped shut. Chi-chan is Machiko. Oh, you two already bonded that much? She earned a nickname? It's a little complicated. We were friends when we were kids. She was the best friend I lost. The villagers, after the incident, went on a witch hunt, got rid of every spirit around, shoot them into the forest. I've not spoken to her since then, until today. I doubt Machiko-chan changed much from how you remember her. Well, perhaps aside from the fact that she might have not been such a huge tease as a child. Nope. Actually, she was a tease back then too. Only not so, focused. She used to play fun little pranks like hiding a bucket of water on the door so you tip water on someone, or hiding a frog in someone's boot. It was so much fun. I genuinely hope the next generation of children in the village doesn't take you two as an example to follow then. You're no fun. It's only a bit of harmless silliness. We made sure no one ever got hurt. Even the froggies we rescued. It's just a shame it all ended so quickly. Why do you not try to reform your friendship with her now that you are allowed inside the village? Perhaps this is an opportunity for both of you. I hope so. I know I had a lot of fun when we played, but something was weird when I spoke to her earlier. She didn't seem to remember anything, and trying to remember hurt her. It might be nothing, but you never know. Perhaps something happened when she fled the village that made her unable to remember the event. Nevertheless, I do think we should return to the village. This rain... Oh! The rain stopped. I didn't even notice. They'll still be looking for us, though. Dad and, I turned my gaze away, my cheeks burning a light red color as I pointed toward her chest. Your clothes are soaked.
Ah, you're right. Yeah, they're almost see-through.
That's not supposed to be something to be amused about.
That's you. My body's fantastic and deserves to be shown off.
I doubt your grandfather wants you showing it off to anyone at all, let alone a guy. Anyway, back to the village before you catch a cold. The girl nodded, and with one last look at the two wooden markers, she turned and began to walk back to the village, with me following behind her. We walked back to the town, exchanging chatter. I managed to establish that while the girl was training her body, she lacked a lot of discipline, and despite her feeling of inferiority, a fair amount of spirit to her. She led me to an unfamiliar building on the outskirts of the town, and deftly unlocked the door.
Welcome to my humble abode. Aren't much to look at, but I keep it tidy, and it's nice to have somewhere private. If you wanna, you can check on one of the Oji-san's old robes, but when I was just a kid while your stuff dried. This used to be his place before he became the elder, and I never really cleared it all out. Oh, she's still talking. He won't even notice you're wearing this stuff. You can change in the bathroom. I'll get into something else. Before we could move, there came a heavy thudding outside. A young guardsman appeared at the door.
Hikage-san, there you are. We have been searching for you. We need you to come to the Elder's Hall right away.
Oh, of course, right away.
The guards saluted and snapped around, heading off to his other errands. Narumi closes the door behind them and walked back to her fresh pile of clothes. What? Already? And then she started stripping in front of me. Of course, my first reaction was to quickly cover my eyes with one of my hands. But what surprised me even more was that Narumi seemed not bothered in the least about the fact that I was around. Narumi! Why are you stripping before me? Oh my god, your reaction.
What's the matter, Takahiro? Never seen a girl's undies before? Oh, but that's not true, is it? You saw mine yesterday. Maybe you've just never seen them on a girl.
Oh, well, I would say that I've seen a lot of things in my life. But a girl willing stripping before me without any reason hasn't been one of them. What would your grandfather say if he heard you? I started stuttering for a moment as I briefly imagined a vision of how Narumi would have looked like without the undies, but quickly cleared the thought out of by shaking my head.
Well, he's not going to find out, is he? It aren't no thing. We need to get going quickly, and we need to get moving. So get your clothes off and change, dang it.
It's a matter of decency. Aren't you embarrassed knowing there's a healthy guy in the same room? At this rate, this and that might happen, and we're going to be late either way.
Not really. I don't mind it.
I'm honored.
I wouldn't mind any of my friends seeing me like this. Miu has seen me naked lots of times.
It's not the same if a girl sees you like that than when a guy does. Anyway, I quickly turned around, trying my best not to peek while she was changing, and declared firmly, "Tell me when you're done changing. God knows this kind of simulation is unhealthy for my mind."
If you'd quit your babbling, we'd be done already. Get your clothes off and the dry ones on.
With that, I felt hand grabs my hips from behind. Without any other warning, my trousers were yanked down to my ankles, and a firm kick to my rear had me stumbling forwards towards the wardrobe. Change! Yes, we can! I mean, no need to kick me! I sighed in frustration while my earlier deduction was clearly wrong. Whether it was the Tsundere Tyrant, Narumi, Machiko, and Miko, they all were clearly the type of girls that went against any type of common sense I had been used to in my world.
Besides, it's not that fair you're the only one getting a show.
Hey, keep your eyes on your own clothes. This isn't a peeping contest.
Good thing, too. I stand no chance of winning.
Well, I admit, your side certainly has a more interesting view. I mumbled softly while sneaking a peek at Narumi, while I was putting on the old robes that were in the wardrobe. She seemed to have changed most of her clothes by now, replacing them with her identical dry ones. It made me wonder why she had more than one set of the same clothes when it struck me. You have a strange uniform here.
Huh? What uniform? These are my clothes. Are you saying I dress strangely?
Not at all. Just that I know that they resemble your other clothes a lot. Then again, I'm not one to speak since I'm the guy from another world.
That's not a lot of choice when it comes to my clothes here. If we were in a big city, maybe, but here, you find something you look good in and you stick to it. Some folks don't even have spare clothes, so I'm quite lucky, really.
I guess it would be hard to find a tailor in a small village, especially since, judging them from the conditions of this world, getting the fabric for said clothes might be rather difficult.
Yeah, it wasn't that easy before. Oji-san said, but with the spirits around now, too, it's almost impossible to convince traveling merchants to come here. People do sometimes visit to pay respect to the shrine, but they've stopped coming lately, too.
Takahiro... Oh, sorry. I got it. Makes sense. Few would be willing to risk their lives peddling goods in a small village, knowing some wild spirits dwell near it. That's asking for troubles.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. I'm gonna need some help here, Taka-kun. Are you done changing?
Yep, I just finished putting on the sash of this robe. Anyway, what do you need help with?
My wrap has come loose. Can you pull it back and tighten it for me? I've never been able to get it right on my own.
As she said that, she pulled her top up, presenting her back to me. Wait, answers for what? Sorry. She wants me to tie those wraps. Feeling slightly embarrassed at the thought, I tried my best to keep my thoughts pure while I took hold of the end of the wraps and helped pull them back to tie them into place, making sure they were neither too loose nor too tight for the matter.
Come on, be a man. Just pull it tight and tie it.
A little surprised at her reaction, I decided to listen to the command and pulled it even more tightly than I did earlier, proceeding to tie it together while sighing loudly. This isn't good for my heart.
There, that wasn't so hard. Come on, let's hurry. Oh, you look good, like a handsome young businessman.
This totally isn't a tuxedo. I look more like a monk than a businessman. Smiling weakly, I quickly followed after Narumi, who was already in a hurry to leave the room. We dashed across the village to the elder's house, Narumi grabbing a weapon as we ran. As we got there, we heard out a loud yell and exchanged worried glances. before pushing through the door.
Halt, villain! Oh my.
Prepare yours. Did we cross into a different dimension?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Never! I will vanquish you!
That scene that lay before us was unlike anything I had seen it. In one corner, Miku was cuddling a large empty bottle, sleeping and giggling to herself. At the back room, the village elder was hitting a large casket with a lock on it, and grumbling to himself. And in the center of the room, Machiko was pinned to the floor by Miu, who was tickling her mercilessly.
Naruchin! Help me with this! The chest is locked and all the sake is dropped and suffocating. We need to rescue it immediately. Oh, Kami, help us! They're drunk. Taka-kun, can you stop those two?
Now this was a battle I wasn't expecting. While I nodded my head in confirmation to Naomi's request, I turned toward Machiko and Miu, trying to decide on how to deal with the two of them. In the end, with both of them drunk, it might have been easy enough to get Miu to release Machiko. Unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, two girls roughhousing on the floor bumped into the table and knocked over a saucer of sake onto the both of them. Hi, Montana. Hi, Mango.
Really? What now? And you spilled sake! Wah! No fair!
A fox girl pushed herself upright, flailing like a spoiled child at the girl, before turning tail and running through the door. Heavens help us, who knows what she might do. Naru-chan, please go get her. At this stage, you'd only make stupid advances at me.
Right.
Narumi ran off after the drunken fox girl, leaving me to take care of the remainder. Miu-san, you need to come with me. You need to change into something clean.
You just want to see me naked.
What? No, I am not a pervert. Why does everyone think I want to see boobs? Granted, I do want to see boobs, but I have honor, damn it. I live in New York, Mango.
Nope. I'm not gonna do anything. I'll stop here and swim in sake.
I sighed and looked down at the woman, who was indeed now attempting to swim in a tiny puddle of sake that had been made. I took a deep breath and prepared myself. Tsuntaru, Chief! The enemy has been sighted in the hot spring. They are about to overwhelm us at any moment now. We need your reinforcements right away. Of course, it was just a bluff. I thought of on the spot to get Miu to leave, but little did I know the consequences of what it just did. What? We must vanquish them at once! Come on, Private Pervert! We must raid the hot springs! Aren't we supposed to defend? But before I could finish my sentence, Miu dragged me by the collar of my robe toward one of the doors of the building. No! Attack! Attack! Get into the hot springs and attack! I'll be in soon! And with that, she shoved me through the door with a hefty kick, the door slamming shut behind me. My hearing was not perfect, but I could have sworn I heard a yelp and tumble afterwards. The place she had pushed me into was a large... open area which was encircled by a tall bamboo fence. There was also a small communal area for a more delicate washing. Sighing to myself, I began to tidy the area a little, removing sharp objects and small obstacles that the drunken woman might have injured herself on. And there I waited. It was 5 minutes before I heard the door open and close, and before I could turn around, I heard the gentle slush of someone stepping into the waters of the onsen. The water's great. Hurry up and get in. whatever happened to attack? As I said that, I turned around expecting her to be stood in the water in our clothes. Let me guess. Next scene. Okay. That's not as bad, but yeah. And yet, the sigh that awaited me was far from what I would have expected from the Tsundere Tyrant. There was no katana sliding through air, nor any harsh words being shouted. Rather, it appeared that instead of such things, there was an attractive-looking girl wearing only a simple towel to cover her body, who had decided to take a seat in the hot spring. Mio-san? While it might have been a result of the consumption of all the alcoholic beverages, the warm smile she had shown me caused my thoughts to briefly pause. Care to join me? Well, if you don't mind. Get in the water! Yes, madam. In a rush, I moved over to the spring, nearly slipping over wet tiles in the process, before I made my way into the water without any embarrassing flips through the air. I folded my robe, but kept the towel I had found around my waist. Today certainly has been hectic, albeit the last thing I expected was for you all to gulp down sake like a baby drinks milk. The woman said nothing for a short while, regarding me with a faint grin on her face. It made me feel very nervous. I almost preferred it when she was shouting and angry. You're no slacker. I can see you train a lot. Huh? Briefly caught off guard by her comment, I quickly gathered my thoughts and nodded in return. Well, I do like judo, so it's natural for me to train my body a lot. But the same can be said of you, Mio-san. While you look, rather feminine, I could easily notice your strength in your swordsmanship. It shows diligence and talent, but above all, experience. You took up your katana from a young age, didn't you? Thank you. She leaned back against the rocks and let out a sigh. You could say that. It took me a long time to become competent with a blade. Long days and nights training tirelessly in the wind and the rain, callousing my hands and feet on rocks as I ran, all to toughen up myself, to make myself strong enough. Oh, I'm sorry, I just thought you were really strong. It is a horrible sensation, knowing nothing of your early life. I just know I turned up in rags. The guards found me out in the woods one day, while the patrol starving and dirty. The previous village elder took pity on me, and she took me in. Everything was nice for a time. Narumi's family took me in, treating me like one of their daughters. Then the incident happened. Seeing the village that had taken me, fed me, clothed me, given me shelter, and accepted me, suffering because of the actions of the spirits. I couldn't take it. As the woman spoke, she let out another sigh. It seemed the alcohol was making her a little bit more talkative, which was certainly not a bad thing. I just hope I wouldn't be suffering under the Tsundere Tyrant wrath when she remembered all this tomorrow morning. Alright, bye Jazz. Sorry I have to go, but good night. And you're welcome. After the incident, I felt something deeply, like I had to do something. I couldn't just let myself sit by while everything fell apart around me. Everyone was devastated by the fires, but their spirit was still so much stronger than mine. On that day, I pleaded with the previous chief of the guard to make me strong. I want to protect the village, to protect Narumi at any cost. She eventually agreed, but told me that I would need to make my mind stronger first. And that's why you became, What is that word bae, by the way? It sounds stupid. You can say it. Tsundere Tyrant? I don't know what Tsundere is, but Tyrant isn't far off. I didn't want to drive everyone away. Least of all, Narumi. But I had to. The other way, the loss would hurt me too much each time. Spirits weren't our problem. Bandits, weather, beasts, the village needed protecting from it all. It had become my purpose, and it made me distant myself from everyone else. I see, and that explains why you have so much animosity towards Machiko and Miko and the other spirits.
That's right. Although, I am beginning to think maybe we can live alongside them. The Kitsune at least. I don't know about the others. And I guess that's something to do with you, so, thank you.
You're welcome. I really didn't do much.
I mean that. Truly. To you and the sisters. You saved my life of service. Perhaps even prevented my death.
I think it might do you well to say that to Kitsune sisters too. I do think it will help a lot, especially with what has to be done next.
What? What comes next?
The woman's words were getting a little incoherent now. Perhaps fatigue and the alcohol inside her were now taking a hold of her body. The wild spirits obviously won't be leaving the village alone just because of one loss. We're going to need to figure out on how to make them behave. And for Maiko-chan and Machiko-chan, that I can to telling me to turn on Narumi-chan.
Turn on.
The woman seemed to giggle at this for quite some time, so I let out a sigh and coughed politely.
What I mean is that the Kitsune will likely have to fight their own kin at some point.
What purpose would it hold for them to defend a village that neither accepts them or befriends them? I think you and Narumi-chan will be the chess pieces we need to finish this game. And we better play our next move right, or the wild spirit will put us on a checkmate.
You're calling us pawns? That's not nice.
As she said this, she seems to slide down into the water a little more. Nope, you four are like the king pieces. Moment we lose those, it's game over. To explain it in layman terms, I think you two would be the ones with the most chance for the Kitsune to form a bond with.
What the hell, Mango?
So, for the sake of the village, you must get as close as possible to the Kitsune sisters.
But I don't like girls like that.
The woman seemed to be incredibly flustered by the comment, even though she had mistaken what I had said. Before I could respond, she slumped even more, her cheeks going deep crimson, her head slumping back against the stone. As I got closer, it was clear she had passed out, and I cursed myself for not realizing that she was likely overheating thanks to that water of a spring. That sounds good. Sake mango? Just my luck. She had to pass out in a hot spring while wearing only a towel. I swear, someone up above is trying to test my patience with all those temptations. Sighing in annoyance, I carefully wrapped my arms around her, Miu, and pulled her out of the water. Realizing that leaving Miu here would be a bad idea, I was about to head towards the village elder's house when Namri came barging in.
Taka-kun, I heard you in here. I managed to— Whoa! What's going on in here?
Your great captain just suffered a defeat from a dreadful combination attack of sake, a misunderstood comment, and overheats thanks to the water. Please take good care of her while I cover your retreat.
That's what happened. I believe you, stud. Come on, hand her over. I'll make sure she gets dried and a good night's sleep. But if you do that stuff to her while she was drunk, she's gonna kick your ass.
I shall refrain from provoking her wrath. The last thing I need is a hungover somewhere trying to slash me into kebab. But she's right here. I motioned at the towel-wrapped girl who was dozing away peacefully beside me. Narumi paced over and picked her up with ease, holding her bridal style.
You should get some rest too, Taka-kun. And keep an eye on Chi-chan. She's a little restless right now.
Leave her to me. I'll make sure she'll be in good hands. And with those words, I watched Narumi carry me out of the onsen. I myself had quickly changed to the robes I had borrowed and made my way back to the main hall that everyone had been drinking earlier. Sure enough, there was Machiko curled up. Thankfully, it looked like she had made her way into Mako and was cuddling up to her. The two women looked adorable cuddled together, and their cute mumblings only enhanced the moment. As I considered waking them so we could return to the mansion, I heard someone whisper my name. I walked out into a garden area, onto the wooden decking. I found Elder Hayate sat on the grass, looking up at the stars. My boy, are the stars as beautiful as your world? I walked over to him and lay flat, finally allowing myself to properly relax. I looked up at the night sky and smiled. You know, I never really looked up at them properly. I was too busy with this and that. I yawned loudly and felt my lids getting heavy as I wiggled to get myself comfortable.
Maybe you should. If you get back, the previous elder once told me that all the worlds share the same sky. It sounds silly to me, but maybe there's something to it.
It does look similar. Sparkly but black. Maybe it's true. The elder remained silent then for a little while before talking again. I could barely make out what he said though, for my eyelids were getting even heavier, and before much time had passed, I drifted to sleep beneath the starry sky. Oh, long do you think he was out here? It must have been a while. His throat was stuck with the morning dew. As I drifted back into consciousness, I could hear Narumi and Miu talking nearby. Their voices sounded hushed, but not through their own effort. They simply sounded far away. I briefly considered jumping up and scaring them, but my body was not going to let me.
Maybe you should poke him.
Hikage, there's no need for that. Takahiro-san, wake up, you bone-idling boy! I ground lightly. When my eyes finally opened, the early rays of the rising sun making me raise a hand to conceal my eyes from the harsh light. I was unusually quite a morning person, but having fallen asleep under the starry sky wasn't exactly the type of sleep I was used to. Mango. Sorry, I'm still like in a weird phase in my relationship. But thank you for the compliment. Did the Valkyrie come to take me to Valhalla?
I don't even know what those things even are.
Do you intend to lay there all morning, or did you plan to do anything useful? They are warrior angels who descend to pick up the souls of fallen warriors who fought heroic battles. Good thing neither of you are Valkyrie. I'm too young to sleep here forever. That's true, Panda. You're not a warrior, nor is Narumi, so your vision was completely idiotic. Which is why I need to get training you both. You are not warriors yet, but with my help, you'll both become fine, noble warriors, capable of handling anything that comes at you. I liked her more when she was drunk. It will be an honor to learn from you, Sensei.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe Takaku can teach both of us some of his moves too, ma'am.
An excellent suggestion, Narumi. I believe he is a competent fighter, and learning more than simply how to use a weapon. But to fight with that one too will be a very convenient skill to have. However, work cannot begin like this. You need to go get changed, you need to eat, and you need to wake up. Snap to it. But the grass is kind of soft here, and the view is nice.
Yeah, but if I join you down there, the view of the two mountains will disappear.
That's a convincing argument. I actually wonder, what mountain would be the largest to climb? Mount Miyu or Mount Narumi? Enough of this idiotic banter, you. You babbling buffoon of a boy! Miyu-sensei, can I ask you something? What is it? We have been overwhelmed with the power of your tune. Can you now bless us with the dead, please? And you're intimidating us. Isn't that right, Narumi-chan? Oh my god, that's a lot. Oh my god, Mango. I don't know what to say. Wait, what? Well, yeah, she's a... Wow, that's a lot. I would really appreciate it if you did. Oh my god, thank you so much. It's optional, but yeah. Don't tease me, that's so mean, Mango. That's really mean. We have been overwhelmed with the power of your tune. Can you now bless us with Dari, please? And you're intimidating us. Isn't that right, Narumi-chan? Oh, sorry, I read this already. You may need to explain that a little better. I don't really know what those things mean. Sorry, Taka-kun. Basically, tune means harsh and violent, and Dara means sweet and caring. Its tsundere is someone who is outwardly quite mean, but inwardly sweet. I'm saying for her to be less of a meanie pants and shower us with love and affection. What happened to the motivation of your troops? I am nothing like that. Will you stop making such ridiculous comments? I'd have slapped some sense into you. Tsunmiyu. I kind of missed the daughter I saw in the hot spring yesterday. That was something completely different. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop your embarrassing things. Jeez. A split personality. And I thought one was bad enough. Now we've got two Miyus wandering around inside one head. Just wait for it, Narumi-chan. First it's one Miyu, and then it's two, and soon there's a whole army of Miyu. Stop it! Stop it! Shut up, both of you! Stop it! This is ridiculous! And who was now blushing quite brightly turned her back on me and stormed off with a huff, crossing her arms indignantly. I guess I should get up before she decides to return and slap me for that tease. Thanks for waking me up, Narumi-chan. After I apologized to Miyu, explaining it was merely a little jest, the girl had decided she wanted to train us personally. Alright, give me a second. I want a snack. Panda. Wow, 19 comments. Alright. This was what led me and Naomi to be stood in the town square. Thanks, Panda. What? It's that good? Are you serious? I don't think it's that good. I'm just doing it for fun. But it's also good for acting. This was what led me and Narumi to be stood in the town square, waiting for Miyu to arrive for the first part of the training program. It kind of reminded me of a training camp at the dojo I was part of, albeit I had the feeling this was about to turn out to be more fun. As we waited, I noticed that preparations were beginning for what looked like a street festival. I asked Narumi about it, and she told me that it was an annual celebration, and it would be happening a few days from now. As we chatted, Miu turned up, sword in hand and a face mark upon her face. Oh my god, Mango! Oh, thank you. I'll have to look up in the email. I guess I'll speak to you properly once I'm done.
Perfect! It seems you two are ready. If there is something every warrior needs, then it's strength and discipline. Because of that, we should run laps around the village. Oh, no, not laps.
Just running?
Yes, and those who slack will be firmly punished. Now run!
Like, without any warning, Miu drew her sword and started to brandish her sword at the two of us, causing me to cringe lightly while Narumi tugged along my arm, making it clear our teacher wasn't joking. Oh my god, thank you so much, Mango. I'll add you to my top donation. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say.
Let's get down to business.
Oh no, she's enjoying this far too much.
To defeat the spirits!
I didn't know they were Huns.
Quit your yapping and get running, unless you're eager to feel the edge of my sword.
Yeah, she's enjoying it this too much. Come on, Takakun, let's just get running. She's not going to be reasoned with like this. She's a freaking drill sergeant. The army has nothing against her. Weeping slightly as I continued running alongside Narumi, I decided to finally take the exercise serious. Actually, all things considered, I was surprised at the pace that Narumi was running at. Sorry about the lag, Mango. While I felt I could brag a little about my physical strength, her stamina was clearly superior to mine, and after we had been running around for several hours, I found myself on my back. My breathing was ragged and heavy while Narumi was still standing upright, albeit visibly exhausted judging from her panting. To her credit, Mira had been keeping pace with us, and while she was panting too, she still looked fighting fit and ready to go. You two do this every day?
Not every day, no. Otherwise, we'd get no patrolling done. But I cannot fault you for your spirit. Both of you, you did well. That was harder than anything we've ever done before.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miyu-san ends up being the last boss we have to defeat someday. Her strength and stamina are clearly beyond human capacities.
Clearly! Maybe she's some sort of Sundari spirit, here to be mean to us on a superhuman level. Narumi, would you like to run 10 more laps around the village?
No, I'm sorry. Miyu-sama, please forgive me. I was only joking around. I wonder, Narumi-chan, if we pray to Almighty Guardian Spirit of the village, will she allow us to take a break? I eyed Miyu while attempting to hold back my smile, clapping my hands together in a prayer. As I did so, Narumi giggled and did the same thing. Almighty Miyu Kami, who watches over the village, please bless us with a short break, and maybe a lot of money someday, and a beautiful wife. And okay, a break is enough. You two idiots want to break that much, huh? Fine, we can do something relaxing. The elder needs his bath cleaned. That will loosen up for the next part of the training. You hear that, Narumi-chan? We get to play the Unsan. Oh, thank you, benevolent goddess. Yay! While I clapped my hands a final time, I took Narumi and Mio's hands by surprise and dragged the two girls toward the village elder's house. What are you doing? Let me go this instant! Miyu-san, all work and no play is no good at all. The three of us had quickly reached the onsen, preparing to start cleaning up the place. However, it didn't take long for the serious cleaning work to be turned into a series of silly games when I started chasing after Narumi with a soap-soaked punch, shouting in a nefarious tone. "I'm the soap monster! Prepare yourself to be washed, foolish warrior!"
Ah! No! The evil spirit has arisen! Do not fear, citizens of Yonsen village! Yeah!
The girl grabbed her mop and thrust it forward, brandishing it like Miyu would with her katana.
I am the village protector, Miyu Tsunderini. Tsunderini.
Okay, give me a second.
Miyu Tsunderino. I will vanquish all those who oppose me. Will you two stop messing around? We have work to do. It's the dreadful Miyu. The warrior has been the nemesis of all spirits. However, today is the day you fall. Yeah! Never! I will defeat this Untan until my dying breath. None but the villagers may bathe in it. Ha!
She began brandishing the map toward me, clearly not meaning to do any real attack, and I batted it away with my sponges. Then today shall be your last breath. I told you to knock it off. I laughed menacingly when Narumi's playful push with the mop caught me off guard. I sadly staggered backwards, my feet slipping over one of the soap bars we hadn't yet picked up. Soap bars, okay. With a startled yelp of surprise, I felt myself topple backwards, bumping against Miyu. Ouch. And I lost my balance completely. I let go of the sponge, sending it flying towards Narumi, who caught it on the face. I moved forwards to apologize to the woman, when from behind me I heard a yelp and a loud splash. Uh-oh. I don't want to look, do I? Oh shit. As I slowly turned around, a vision came into my sight. A bar of soap discarded, a mop, a bucket, a washcloth, and in the waters, pulling herself upright, Miyu. I'm probably gonna finish in 20 minutes because it's almost 2 hours. She was soaked from head to toe, and she had a look that could have frozen over the fires of Hades. You two. I'm sorry. It was Taka's fault. He started it all. Traitor! Don't just rip me out because... As my eyes glanced lower to look at Miyu's clothes, I finally noticed that they had also been soaked and turned into see-through outfit. A real man takes responsibility for his actions. And I bet he just did it because he wanted to see you soaking wet like he did last night. That wasn't part of the plan. What plan? Oh god, Miyu, it was just a joke. Seriously, Taka and I were just playing around. It was an accident. I only said it because I panicked. There was really no plan. Please forgive us. Yes, you should forgive us. It was merely some innocent fooling around. And even if the end result is quite appealing. You do have a point there. I told you both not to play around. I told you both to keep working. Hikage, I will deal with you later. Leave immediately, Takahiro. You need to be punished now. What? That's not fair. You can't do that to me. It was an honor to have fought alongside you, Naomi-chan. My will has not yet been written, but I leave everything I own to anyone who wants it. I'm not leaving. Punish us both, or neither of us. I bet you're just doing this because you want to spend more time with him. What? That's ridiculous.
Whatever gave you that idea? I don't even like him. And you were spending too much time with him anyway.
Wait, what are you girls talking about?
Ha! You admit it. You think the others are spending too much time with him. Means you want to spend more time with him. Busted. That's completely untrue. I only want to spar with him. Narumi, shut up. Takahiro, prepare yourself. We're going to spar right now. Without Narumi and her big butt interrupting us. Hey! Now I know you're jealous. My figure is divine.
Spar right here and now.
But you're soaked.
A warrior will not worry about such things.
Battles may be fought in the lashing rain or the burning sun, but they must still be fought. We cannot allow ourselves to simply stop because our clothes are wet.
She just wants to show off her goods. I just know I'm going to regret this. I sighed deeply while I took a combative stance, just knowing that something was gonna go wrong. In the spar match, a girl in so close fighting against me, someone who used grapples and throws, that was asking for troubles. This is a perfect opportunity. Actually, sometimes your biggest strength will not be available. Get in here, Takahiro. We will spar knee-deep in water. This will be a fine test of your skills. The woman stepped to the edge of the onsen, weather cascading down her body as she grabbed the discarded mop. It took a lot of concentration not to look at her soaked clothes and how tightly they clung to her form. But as she stepped back into the center of the pool, I dropped down into it and took up a defensive stance. Narumi! If you interfere, I will tell the elder exactly what happened to his dearly beloved old teddy bear, the one that you used as a... No one hears anything, fine, I'll keep out. You need someone to haul you from the water once Taka-kun kicks your ass anyway. That's kinda like blackmail.
Oh, it absolutely is blackmail. Now, defend yourself.
The lunge came a lot faster than I had anticipated. The wound shaft aimed squarely at my midsection, drove straight and hard, knocking me back a few steps. I hissed as the pain of the impact spread and flexed my arms out. Miyu slushed forwards, waves washing aside when she stumped, and I pushed myself upwards, dodging another strike to me left.
Go, Taka-kun!
I moved in closer, trying to make her thrust less effective thanks to the length of the mop handle, aimed below towards her shoulder. To my surprise, she did not move at all. Taking it, she held it and glared at me. If you're not gonna put your all into this, then you must then you may as well not even bother calling yourself a man. My eyes narrowed a little and I pulled back as a wide strike sought to lash into my side. I growled a little, feeling my anger flare, and lashed out, smacking the mop handle and away with lots of force, using the opportunity to get closer. I managed to land a few jabs against her midsection, and one to her shoulder before darting backwards as best as I could in the water. She seemed winded for a moment or two, spinning the mop in her fingers before she pushed forwards again.
Taka-kun! Taka-kun! Taka-kun!
Her next strike was a downward slash, which I caught between my hands. With a grin, I pulled hard on the stick and held my foot forwards to kick her. She did that sensible thing and let go of the mop, which let me toss it aside with ease. A swordswoman without a sword can't hope to beat an experienced practitioner of judo. This match is lost. Surrender. I guess I have no choice. As she said that, she span, lashing her leg upwards in a spiral kick that caught me on the jaw, knocking me back and almost onto my ass. You should never get overconfident. The fight is not over until your opponent is down. She stood in front of me, her fist raised in stance I did not recognize. If she was quicker without weapon than with, then I had no chance of beating her speed-wise. Her kicks were strong as an ache in my jaw told me. She had a good stamina. The only way I could see to break her was to use that. That's not the only way to win a fight, you know. I stepped forward. Purposely, I did not need to attack, just to get close. A few steps from both of us had her right where I needed her, in a corner, unable to get past without moving by me. I stepped again, and she darted to one side. I looped an arm around her waist, bracing for the counterattack I knew she would perform. My left leg pressed down against her knees, sending her down onto them. My other arm grabbed her arm high above her head, and my weight pressed against her body.
No! Yay! Taka-kun with the mission hold!
I held her tight, but she would not be in so much pain. Of course, all I had to do was lower my right hand, and the pressure on her body would increase, which I did, so slowly, displaying to her what the hold could do. Do you give up?
I'm fine! The victory is yours!
I grinned brightly and chuckled to myself. I slowly lifted her up, taking the weight from my knees, and gradually let go of one grip. Okay, but don't struggle when I release you, otherwise... But it was too late. Before I could warn her about the problem with the particular, she pulled away from my grip. The angle of her arms and the tightness of my arm around her waist worked together on her clothes, and as she pulled away, they tightened. The risk normally is that it can cut off blood circulation and cause people to faint, but here, with the clothes sun and weakened by the water, well, they didn't last long. It ripped. Rip. As the woman turned back to face me, her clothes tore and separated, scattering into tiny pieces on the wind. Time seemed to slow down for all three of us as Mio looked down at herself, let out a scream, and clasped her hand into her chest, just barely covering herself.
Mio?
You... I tried to warn you! I swear this isn't a secret judo technique or something. You just... Stay back!
Narumi?
Yes, Mio-chan? Please go and get me some change of clothes.
Yes! Right away! I'll go grab you something immediately. I'll be back as quick as I can, promise.
Suddenly, I'm feeling less like a champion and more of a villain. Narumi quickly rushed off, leaving Miyu and I alone on the onsen. They certainly felt different to last night. Miyu was still vulnerable and I was still learning, but I felt like I was walking on thin ice, like one wrong word and she would begin to resent me the same way she resented the feral spirits. I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to do this. It was an accident. So you found my blind spot? Huh? No, I swear it was just an accident. Just that hole just usually makes clothes tight.
Not that. I can't move. I have perfected every area of being cool, not relenting, except nakedness. I can't deal with being naked. I don't think you'd have anything you need to hide. I mean, you should be proud of your body. It's not that. Thinking about the people staring at me, it makes me feel so dizzy. Like I can barely think. I actually admire that about Narumi. She doesn't have a single ounce of embarrassment inside her. Well, I think Narumi-chan will be an exception. Most girls will likely get embarrassed about being seen naked. I'm sure Narumi-chan will be here with your clothes soon. I am not most girls. I shouldn't get incapacitated so easily. It is infuriating. I lost all control of myself. I'm not sure, but perhaps it's something you'll be able to train. A weakness to overcome. Maybe we can train now. Maybe if you...
She began stammering, uncontrollably, blushing brightly from ear to ear, unable to say the word that she had on her mind. I began to panic a little. I had never seen a girl get like this before. Train? I think it's best you ask Narumi-chan for that. But that won't work. I don't get like this when there are only girls around. I guess. Honestly, right now, I feel every man in the world cursing me for my indecisiveness. Right now, here was a pretty girl, stood right in front of me, suggesting me for me to look at her naked, all for the sake of training her to get less embarrassed. How should I call myself a man if I decline this invitation? But are you really fine with it being, me? I can't think of anyone else to do it. Please, Takahiro. Stare at me. Is this really happening? If it isn't, this is the best type of training I've ever experienced. As Miu began to move her arm, I turned my head. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, depending on how you consider the situation. At the moment, the door to the onsen slammed open. In walked Miko and Machiko wrapped in towels. It wasn't nice of Hayate-san to allow us to use the bath. It would be nice to... Takahiro! Yeah, Taki needs some naughty time when they're doing naughty things. Wait, it's not what it looks like. Ah! I can't do it. And with that, she fainted again and slipping down into the water before I could even react. It took a miracle to convince the other that our activities had been innocent, but thanks to Narumi's testimony of what happened, coupled with the fact she informed us of Miu's previous instances of freezing, they believed me. However, as I turned to leave, Narumi took me to one side and whispered to me that, in return for saving my hide, she wanted me to visit her at her house later that evening. What? I couldn't really see how I could get out of that, so I agreed. That evening, I made my excuses to remove myself from the presence of the other girls, and made my way over to Narumi's home, knocking lightly on the door. Hey, Naru-chan, are you in there? Just a moment. The door's open, don't come in yet. I found myself a little bit curious at Narumi's words, pondering what the girl was planning us inside. Perhaps she was preparing a meal or something to surprise me, or some sort of present, or perhaps she merely wanted to talk. Whatever the reason might have been, Narumi's voice soon came from inside the house once more. Okay, you can come in now, Taka-kun. Finding myself getting kind of excited by whatever Narumi had planned, I opened the door and walked into the room, and the door swinging shut behind me. The room was darker than I remembered, and it struck me to hunt for a light. Foolishly, I began to look for a light switch when I remembered that such a thing was unlikely to exist here. So I located a little lamp and nearly boxed the matches, lighting it with ease. Turn around, Taka-kun. Oh wow. I think I'm gonna take a break now, but I guess I'll keep going. I turned around, my eyes bulged. Standing before me was Narumi, only she was dripping. In a few moments, my brain had before I let out a shriek. I did briefly consider her to be the victim of a slime attack, but no. I could smell chocolate in the air, and slime girls were clearly not made of chocolate. But please tell me there's no such thing as chocolate spirits possessing you. I instinctively found my eyes drifting along Narumi's chocolate-coated figure, trying to find out if there was any sign about her struggle with the spirit. But it will soon be revealed I got myself into a greater pinch than I had expected. Of course not, silly. Don't you like it? Doesn't it just suit me? Sweet and delicious? Well, you certainly look sweet and delicious, and not simply because of the chocolate. What in the world happened to you?
Thank ya. Don't worry about the little details. We can talk about them after. Do you want to taste it?
Taste?
Yeah. That's what she said would happen. In your world, anyway. One person puts something tasty on their body, and the other eats it. That's how you get closer to people. I think she called it intimate. Wait, in my world, this is actually a gesture shown between those who are very intimate. Because you do realize that there's no way this won't end up. My words stuttered a little as Narumi stepped closer. Her pose making me gulp lightly as I tried to resist the urge to submit to this temptation. At this rate, getting a stomachache from all the chocolate would be the least of my worries. What's wrong, Taka-kun? Don't you want to bond with me? Or do you just not like chocolate? I have some honey if you prefer that. I love chocolate, and I don't think getting your honey will be proper either. Then I just don't get it. What's wrong? Is it me? I bet if this were me or Chi-chan, you'd be slurping it all up right now. The day Mio-chan coated herself in chocolate is the day pigs sprout wings and started living with the birds. Yeah, she'd never do something like this, but I still don't get why you're not enjoying this. Did I do it wrong? Narumi-chan, this is usually something lovers end up doing for each other. Oh, wow, so I guess I did mess up pretty big, didn't I? When I see that shrine guardian next, I'm gonna tell her where she can smear her chocolate. Right over her big lying mouth. Well, we can't let all the chocolate go to waste, so... Narumi, I need to talk to you. What the hell is going on in here? Your voice captain is possessed by a chocolate spirit. I mean, vice captain. Sorry. Chocolate? Do I look like a child? This is all because of earlier, isn't it? No, it's not. I promise. I was just given some really bad advice. This sounds like really sweet advice. Shush you. Really? Well then, I'm gonna give you some really good advice. Go and clean up now before anyone else sees you like this. Honestly, you represent this village. You can be called at any moment to defend it. Do you think yourself capable while in a chocolate bodysuit? I do think most would. I'm not finished! Narumi, clean yourself. You are sleeping in my spare room tonight. Takahiro, you are to clean up this mess here. If you do not complete this task before morning, then you don't get to sleep. If you do not complete this task before breakfast, then you don't get breakfast. That's one hell of a sour flavor I'm getting right now. I nodded my head lightly, the shout and angry glare of the samurai girl making me feel a bit too intimidated to try to decline her demands. As she marched the dejected and still rather dripping woman out of the house, shielding her with an old robe, I sighed. It was going to take me hours to clean off all this chocolate. If Ichikawa ever finds out this happened and I didn't even get a nibble, he's going to take away all my man cards. Alright, I'm gonna save now. I'm done. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not used to the new voice actors.